Hey guys, this is Nikki Chu, and we're back. We're not back.
Grace, oh grace, every time you come around I feel okay.
So, hi guys, it's Nikki Chu, and welcome to my vlog, my first ever vlog. And this is the first ever vlog that I have filmed, so please bear with me. I'm not really good at vlogging, but I will try my best to give you information and details about the topic and content of this vlog. So the topic and the content of my first vlog is the legislative branch, the rulemaking, the rule of law, the lawmaking, the kinds of law, and the nature of the Philippine law. So I hope guys that in the end of this video you will learn something, and you have that saying that ignorance from the law excuses no one. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. First, we're gonna talk about the legislative branch. Here in the Philippines, we have the legislative branch, which is composed of the Congress, which is the Senate, and the House Representatives. The legislative branch enacts legislation, confirms or rejects presidential appointments, and has the authority to declare war. Also, the legislative branch authorized. Take note, it is authorized to make laws, alter, repeal, through the power vested in the Philippine Congress. This institution is divided into the Senate, as I said a while ago, the Senate and the House of Representatives. So, we're gonna break down the parts or the composition of the legislative branch. First and foremost, the Senate. The Senate will be composed of 24 senators who will be elected at a large qualified voters of the Philippines as by provided by the law. And recently we have the election, and the senators elected are Bong Revilla and Nancy Binay, and so forth and so forth. And I look up to the Senator Nancy Binay because the way she handles, the way she empowers through her words about this pandemic that's going on. She is really blonde and such. So I really look up to her as a senator. So, and I can chit-chat and also that is just for the Senate. While the House of Representatives shall be composed of not more than 250 members, unless otherwise fixed by the law, who shall be elected from the legislative districts appointed among provinces, cities, and the metropolitan Manila area in accordance with their number of respective inhabitants. So, it is said there that the House of Representatives are composed of 250 members, and they are elected by the legislative administrators and such. And these members of the House of Representatives are scattered all throughout the cities, the provinces, and such. So that's it for the legislative branch tackled. So now, we're gonna talk about the lawmaking. How do laws are created, or how do laws are made all throughout. So, here, as I've searched and as I've researched, of course, as I researched about the lawmaking, I came across a step-by-step lawmaking.
In the Philippines, a law starts off as a bill filed in Congress. It then goes through a process which culminates with its submission to the President for his consideration. Once signed, the bill thereafter becomes law.
So, we're gonna talk about about now is the rule of law. What is the rule of law? The rule of law is a principle and the governance in which all persons, including you of course, institutions and entities, public and private, including the state itself, the government itself, are accountable to the laws. So walang sino man ang exempted sa laws. You have to abide the laws in your country because it's the law itself. If there is no law, then everything will be in mass. So you need to follow the law, of course, and be safe always. So, ayun nga. And also, in the rule of law, it is the principle that all people and institutions are subject to and accountable to the law that is fairly applied and enforced. And it's the principle of the government by the law, of course. Rule of law is really, saying that all of us, even those little kids, should follow the law. That's why, on such a little age, parents teach their kids the proper abiding of the law. And of course, you should follow the law. Of course, you should never disregard the law, because it is said that ignorance of the law excuses law. So,
the term rule of law is often used in political and economic contexts, but seldom explained. The rule of law is another way of saying that laws, as they are written, are applied equally to everyone. If you break a law, it doesn't matter how wealthy, connected, or powerful you are, you face the consequences. When followed, the rule of law leads to a more just and prosperous society. Civil disputes are more likely to be resolved peacefully. And in business, people are more willing to enter into contracts if they have a high degree of confidence that those contracts will be honored, or that they will be compensated appropriately if they're broken. The rule of law in politics can be seen around the world where there are peaceful transitions of power following elections. It even governs behavior between countries as well, as in the case of World Trade Organization disputes or mutually agreed upon free trade agreements. And while it can be tempting to bend the rule of law in specific instances that seem especially unjust, the benefits to society are maximized when we follow the law as it is written.
So now, we're gonna talk about the nature of the Philippine law, the nature of the Philippine legal system. So, the Philippine legal system may be considered as a unique legal system. Why? Because it is a blend of civil law, common law, and the Muslim law and indigenous law. Yes, we have the mix of those four laws. And not like other legal systems, there are two main sources of law in the Philippines, which is first the statutes or the statutory law, and the second is the jurisprudence. So, we're gonna talk about first the statutes or the statutory law. Statutes are defined as the written enactment of the will of the legislative branch. It came from the legislative branch, and it prescribes forms or solemnities and are mostly also known as the enactment of the Congress. So, statutes or statutory law are really the enactment of the legislative branch. It is the laws given and made and napasa in the legislative branch, and that's it. It's for the statutory or the statutes. So next one is jurisprudence. So jurisprudence are cases decided or written opinion by the courts and by the persons performing in judicial functions. So kanina sa statutory law, legislative ang nag-act, while in the jurisprudence naman is a judicial branch naman yung nag-act sa mga laws na to. So, lahat ng mga na-include sa laws na to are the administrative, legislative, tribunal, such as decision made by the presidential of, yes, our president, Digong, or the Senate House, or the electoral tribunal. So, Ayan. And also, in the jurisprudence, Muslim law is incorporated. The primary sources of Sharia are Quran, Sunnah, Lima, and Qiyah. So, the books and the laws, according to the Muslim, that benefits them is in this law and this kind of bracket, which is the jurisprudence. Once again, it's your girl Nikki Chu. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or leave down a comment down below in the comment section about this video, and just interact and just tell me what did you learn about this vlog. So thank you guys, and hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.